Standing here in the pit area at the beautiful Penn National Speedway with Joey Gravino, who drives this B&M Auto Service Center car. Is it B&M or D&M?
D&M.
D&M, okay, out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You just picked up this ride, I guess, beginning of this season, right, Joe?
Yeah, we're going to run all the special events, and then when it doesn't interfere with the sprint car.
So basically, you run it on the Friday and Sunday night shows.
Yes, definitely in the special shows up at Port Royal that they'll have in the midweek, one coming up in June, I think, and one in either July or August.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they could have got maybe even a couple of more up there. I know the Super Sportsman drivers seem to like Port Royal the one time last year that they were there, and you probably are anxious to get this car to Port Royal.
Well, definitely. I like to try it up there because Port Royal is a real nice track, real nice place to race, and I think it's a good division for Port Royal.
There's been some rumors floating around again. They've kind of resurfaced about switching nights next year, maybe going to Friday night up there with a sprint car Super Sportsman program. Can we get your opinion on that? Do you think that would work out?
Well, I'd love to see it work out, but I don't know if they're going to get car count. You know, right now everybody's having trouble getting car count. I understand Selinsgrove only had 22 cars last night. Of course, Port only had 19. I think a lot of people are running into problems financially, and there's the biggest problem. A lot of guys quit or moved on, went out of town to run or something like that, and the track it really affected the most was Port Royal, because you can pick up 8-9 cars real quick that either quit or went out of town and run with the Outlaws or so on and so forth. They didn't move on to other tracks in the area. It's just one of those things.
Well, the Esches, both of them, Darren, of course, quit, at least for now, and Chris went with the Outlaws. Kaufman, he's not been a factor. He hasn't been around for a while. And 2 years ago, Ty Scott, he just got out of the business. So, yeah, they haven't really lost cars to anybody. They just lost cars and drivers.
Well, Steve Piper's out of the business now, and you can go on and on. I just can't call the names back to my mind here real quick, but we were going through it here not too long ago. I think it's about 8 cars, and it really affected Port Royal. That's why car count's down at Port Royal.
Last night it was certainly a marathon ordeal. The small blocks took quite a while to get their feature run, and they had a fresh racetrack to run on. I thought they would, get around the track maybe a little better, and it seemed to be worse.
Well, Port Royal's got a problem now. They had a problem before. They had a hard, slick racetrack. Now they got a real tight racetrack, and it's a little rough. There's a cushion up there. And I don't know if it was just the small blocks. I think we had a little problem in the sprints, too. But I think they've got to get back to the drawing board and figure out what the problem is there. Now we got too wet of a racetrack, too big of a curb up and top. You hit it, car goes out over. They're going to hurt somebody. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope they can get the place straightened out. But right now they do have another problem, and that's why they're going to lose car count. You can't keep fans there all night long and expect them to come back the following week.
I know a couple of people actually left before the sprint car feature, which is a peculiarity to say the least. Here's the Penn National Speedway tonight. Of course, the Super Sportsmen are on hand, along with the small block modifieds. Have you run this track very much, Joe?
No, I've only ever run it maybe about 5-6 times at the most. The best success we've ever had down here was running with URC with the sprints one year with the 3x5 wing and a 350 motor, and it is a nice facilities. Last time we were here with a Sportsman car, they had a rough racetrack, and I'll be the first one to admit I can't run on a rough racetrack. I just can't muscle them around, and I like a nice racetrack, smooth, fast, and something to get a hold of.
That's almost a rarity these days. All these racetracks certainly take a lot of punishment. The cars have a lot more horsepower than they did even 3-4 years ago. Track records are indicating that. The tires, of course, are even better, and they help tear it up. This track seems pretty flat. Do you drive a flat track a lot different?
Well, you don't have to go in the turns and throw it a lot because the rear end will want to come out anyhow. So you drive a little bit more than muscle your way around.
Okay, Joe, we want to wish you luck here tonight at Penn National. They always seem to have a big crowd of people. Last week it was almost a sellout, I think. A lot of fans. And the Super Sportsman division certainly brings a lot of fans with them.
Well, the Super Sportsman division has a large following no matter where they go. It's a nice type of car, nice type of racing. But they run on one small track, and I don't care for that. But I'm only one person. They do draw a lot of cars over there and do have a large following.
Okay, we'll let you go. We know you're going to be wanting to get this car ready to go. They're going to be starting warm-ups here momentarily. So it's nice talking to you, and we want to congratulate you on at least your third-place finish up at Port Royal last night. You seem to have the car working real well.
Well, we had it working decent. We knew after about first couple of laps we couldn't run with Paul Latier and Bobby Weaver, so we basically settled in and run a solid third place, and that's what, you get some money, you go home and you work your problems out and come back next week and hope that they're chasing you.
Oh, I wanted to ask you one last thing. I almost forgot. You had a slight concussion, I guess, 2 weeks ago up at Port Royal. How's that? Still feeling any effects from that?
They didn't tell me anything about a concussion. They just said there was probably a minor separation of the collarbone, but then he wasn't too sure about that either. They just checked me out. They had done an EKG and a heart monitoring machine and everything like that. But just being sore and bruised up a little bit. I'm hoping that tonight I can hold on to the car because they don't have power steering, and it makes it a little tough on you, and I don't have all my strength back in my chest.
Let me ask you this. When you're out in the car or just come in from running a feature event in either the sprints or the sportsman, can you tell that Joey Gravino is no longer 21 years of age?
Oh, definitely. I'm 2 times 21. I don't think and look at it that way, though, because I'm still capable of going fast and running up front. And maybe one of these days that I can't run up front and go fast, that then it's time to step aside and let somebody else maybe drive for me or maybe just quit.
Well, you certainly don't drive like you're 40, I'll have to tell you that. I mean, you drive like a 21-year-old and always giving us a thrill up in the stands. And tonight we want to wish you the best of luck, Joe.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.